Welcome to Better Together. This is going to be a series where we talk to HubSpot app partners about how to grow better together. Let's dive right in. Hey, everybody. Today, we're going to jump into all things AI with the Synthflow team. We know that it's super hard to keep up to date with all things AI. So today, we're going to dive into voice AI to help you stay ahead of the curve. So when you have a client asking about how they can leverage AI with their teams, you'll be the expert and know how to help them out. So today, we got Nick on the line to talk all things voice AI. So, Nick, great to chat with you again. I know we've been working together for a little bit now. Um, where I really want to start off here today is like it's so hard to dig in on sales calls and figure out like who benefits from these tools and like when should I bring them up. So, first question I'm sure that will be helpful for partners is what type of clients would benefit most from Synthflow and the HubSpot integration?
Hi, Blake. Thanks for having me on. First of all, to answer your question right away, so we see it most beneficial in for clients in industries with high inbound and outbound call volumes, obviously. So we're thinking things like healthcare, real estate. We have a lot of insurance, mortgage broker cases, for example, or like the finance industry. Um, so they benefit significantly from AI call automation to streamline their processes and capture more leads efficiently.
Gotcha. So, when you say like high call volumes, like where do they mainly see the lift when they're using voice AI? Like, do you have any examples of client was struggling here, and this is how they're leveraging voice AI to have more of an impact?
As in Lyft, what are you referring to? Like a certain you want like a number of minutes or like a type of use like a use case or
Yeah, when I'm saying lift, I'm talking about like let's say I am in the SaaS industry and I go to a trade show and I have 10,000 people to follow up with. Without voice AI, it's gonna be next to impossible. So it's just gonna be like a spray and pray approach and hoping for the best. So when I say lift, like the old way versus the new way, like where are you seeing clients get wins with voice AI? Where it's like, hey, the old ways they just had a bunch of low pay SDRs just hammering the phones and hoping for the best. Versus with voice AI, here's how they could be more efficient and get more of an impact.
yeah. Okay, gotcha. So we see for users on our platform, we see a significant return on investment, for example, for use cases where individuals can't answer the phone anymore. So they're missing calls, and through that they're missing out on business opportunities. So let's
Mm.
look at maybe like a medical practice or in the service industry, like an installation company who simply can't answer the phone all the time, 24/7 when they're working on something or maybe outside of business hours. So having this type of customer service that you have like a human sounding AI basically answering the phone, answering the frequently asked questions, putting information into a CRM, maybe even booking an appointment. This is a significant. They see significant return on investment in comparison to what the process used to be. Let's say from either having like an IVR or a simple mailbox, and then having to manually call the lead up the next day, and sort things out.
That's really interesting to me. So, actually had this conversation with my friend the other day about service businesses. We were trying to get some repairs done on our RV, and he asked me like how I find who I use while we travel the country because we live full-time RVing. And my response is like whoever contacts me back first, essentially. And you'd be shocked. Sometimes it takes like 2 days for anybody to call me. So it seems like that's a great use case. Like if you're a service provider, maybe you're a smaller team, or maybe you're just really busy because you're in a really competitive market. This could be a great way for those providers to actually get back to those clients that left messages and get them scheduled for a consultation so you're the first person to contact them instead of being so busy you forget about them or just never call them back. So is that what you're kind of saying about efficiency?
Yes, exactly. That's I would say the bulk of our customers who see the value is exactly these types of use cases. And the nice thing is, you'd think let's probably like let's put it like this: these type of businesses usually aren't the most techie. So that's why we went ahead and built let's say a no-code solution. So you're able to launch these voice assistants with, let's say, minimal coding experience. So it's kind of a drag and drop system. So you can get set up within an hour or so for your use case, for your business, with having launched an AI assistant, which is really hooked up with your HubSpot ideally, or with any other of your tool, and you don't really have to know much coding or yeah, be very technical at all.
Nice. I mean, that brings me to my next question then, Nick. So, I mean, when I think of myself from like a partner lens, because I primarily work with HubSpot partners in my day to day, I think about like why is voice AI essential to these HubSpot partners? Um, I mean, I think I know the answer to this based on your answer there, but I'd just love you to touch on that real quick, and then I could kind of fill in the gaps to see if I'm thinking about this the right way as well.
Right, yeah. So with we have a lot of partners come to us and tell us, okay, this is kind of interesting. They're interested in innovative solutions, and they have customers literally coming to them asking them, hey, I saw this advertisement. Is you guys already have something like this? So with faster response times and 24/7 availability being starting to become somewhat a norm. Synthflow AI helps HubSpot partners to offer their clients a solution that meets modern customer expectations. So beyond inbound support, Synthflow enhances the outbound capabilities by automating lead enrichment directly within HubSpot, appointment booking, and yeah, lead qualification over the phone. So this allows sales teams, customer support teams to identify high value leads faster and nurture prospects more effectively, scheduling appointments again, doing all these kind of things. So for HubSpot partners, Synthflow's AI-driven outbound features help their clients capture new opportunities and increase conversions.
So, Nick, based on that, like, I think I know the answer to this, but I'd love your feedback before I kind of give you my answer. But why does your team view voice AI as an essential feature for HubSpot partners today?
Yeah. So with demand for faster response times and 24/7 availability, it's kind of becoming an like customers expect this nowadays, they're starting to really expect this from businesses. We see that customers are coming to partners that we work with and asking them for these types of solutions. So Synthflow's voice AI helps HubSpot partners offer their clients a solution that meets modern customer expectations, you could say. So beyond inbound support, Synthflow enhances outbound capabilities by automating lead enrichment, appointment booking, lead qualification all over the phone.
Gotcha. So, I think I was along the right lines then. Like, the way I view this is like, as a HubSpot partner, this helps you in two areas. One area is clients are already like trying to meet these expectations of 24/7 availability. So like this is one way to give them a solution to meet that. But more importantly, it's also a way to make it you stickier with the client and stickier with the hub they bought. So if they're on Sales Hub, you can use this as a tool to help them get even more value out of Sales Hub so that they're just really happy and have a great experience and feel like they're getting their money worth out of the software and the services they bought from you. On the Service Hub side, if they bought Service Hub, it's a great way to keep the team lean and be able to solve problems via text of via headcount alone. Is that the right way to think about this, Nick?
That is exactly correct. Yes. We
Okay.
see just one small point about that. So we see we have HubSpot users come to us and they're literally looking for a partner to implement this for them properly. So that's because we tell them, hey, if you hook it up correctly with Sales Hub or with Service Hub, you're gonna get like a crazy amount of value out of it. So we're literally putting them together with partners to implement this correctly for them.
Awesome. That's very helpful. So next question is getting into the brass tacks. Like if I am an agency, I care about building this connection with my client and ultimately hopefully being able to have more lifetime value from them. So I want to think about this in like two lenses. I want to view it from the client side of like how do they get more value out of HubSpot via voice AI? And then the next question is going to be how can HubSpot partners use something like Synthflow to generate reoccurring revenue as well? So, like if I was a partner asking you the first one, we'll just start there. How can Synthflow improve client lifetime value as a HubSpot partner? Like, what would you say?
Yeah, so by offering Synthflow's AI-powered solution, uh, s- uh, you can have an add-on for your customers, which partners usually they can create ongoing service packages for automated lead management, for example, customer support and engagement campaigns, driving long-term client contracts. So that's what we've been seeing many from the partners we work with.
Gotcha.
And
So,
yeah.
real quick there. So, you're saying like this could help them either keep their sales automation retainer or service automation retainer or get that retainer by having this like as a piece of the puzzle. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting because I mean, I'm sure you see it talking to partners, but I see this all the time. It is really freaking hard to keep a retainer and even get new retainers. So it sounds like this could be a great way to kind of break the ice in that conversation, especially if they're in one of those industries. Like I view this like if I was a partner, I'd think I'm going to go back to all my service businesses and be like, hey, this is what we're seeing in the market. Like the person that replies first gets the services. So like we recommend an automation retainer to help basically make your team's impact even larger because you're a small team. And like essentially this would be the icebreaker to start having that conversation about a whole plethora of services we can do for them. But this will provide them with like an actual tactical quick win where they could go in and I don't know if this is wrong, but like within 30 minutes have this set up where their clients can start seeing impacts so they could keep that conversation going. Is
Yeah.
that accurate or am I completely insane?
No, that's completely accurate. So when you quote 30 minutes, that's basically what it can be. So it's like the no-code tool and everything, like the mode to implementing this is extremely low, also for very untechnical people. And we see basically like we see individuals building a whole business on top of Synthflow because like the
Oh,
array of features that we have out there to kind of deliver value to customers as an agency or as an individual who wants to build a business is huge. So that's basically what Synflow is all about.
nice. Well, I think this will be a good place to stop. Will be I, I always want to figure this out for my partners. Like AI is tricky, at least some of it is. So like if I want to partner up with Synflow and I'm a HubSpot partner, what kind of resources can I get from your team to become that voice AI expert for my clients?
Yes, good question. So even though we are the no-code tool and all that stuff, we still see that prompting and like, kind of like setting up everything does have somewhat some types of some type of moat. So first of all, we have a what we call Synflow University. So it's a type of academy where you can learn everything about voice AI, prompting, like different voice cloning, all the features and everything. We have videos, a bunch of documentation for people to learn that in like a real educational way. We have a YouTube channel packed with all kinds of materials. We do offer a whole white label version of the tool for agencies. So with that in mind, we have a bunch of like marketing materials and a whole package of all kinds of stuff. We'll help you understand pricing for your customers, if you don't want to go the affiliate way. So there's basically kind of the whole learning side of things, and then there's like the how to market to how to market the product, how to market the tool. And then, yeah, if your use case is, let's say, big enough and you come and you want our help to with implementation, we also offer what we call like white glove support. So that's like the full array of support for you, helping you with all the setup, going on calls with you, doing all the prompting, basically getting it set up end to end for you.
Cool. So it sounds like, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to work for me. What I heard is like, if you want low touch and like you just want to go run and learn, you can use your university, you can use your YouTube channel. If you want to get more in the weeds and like really focus on these larger use cases, you could even work hand in hand with your team to like make sure the project's successful and make sure the client gets the right outcome. Um, or you could just kind of do it ad hoc where it's like, hey, as it comes up, you can sell it. You have all these different tools you can use to support yourself. But it sounds like it really depends, or I guess a better way to put this is like you get to decide how you can work together. And depending on how deep you want to go, your team has the resources to assist them all the way to like the crazy level where it's like, hey, we want to be our own version of Synthflow and we want to have our own offer that is uh agent hub or whatever the heck you want to call it. Am I thinking about that right?
Yeah, that's completely right. So we really see, like from little tiny business, kind of just affiliate model, getting one or two customers on board, to really big agency with hundreds of sub accounts, and until completely untechnical person, but has a great use case to implement for their customer. So they ask us, to set it up for them. And as mentioned, if like if it's enough minutes that you're looking at using per month, we really get into the weeds, getting your hands dirty, helping you to really make it work end to end.
Cool. I actually lied, Nick. I got one last question. When I was a strategic cam at HubSpot, I always had partners ask me like, "Hey, what are the triggers I should think about Sales Hub or Service Hub with my clients?" I'd like to ask that same question, but with voice AI. So essentially, if I'm a partner talking to all these clients, what are those triggers or what are those things where, hey, if I hear X, I should be thinking Synflow?
Yeah, good question. So we're seeing very nice return on investment in and traction for specific use cases. So that's like, for example, as mentioned already, outbound lead qualification. So as soon as someone is putting their information into a form, we can think of the example of a mortgage broker. So you're on a website, you're putting in the information to get your first quote like really quickly. We can have an assistant call that person up right away, qualify them, and schedule an appointment with a loan officer. So
Hmm.
basically, for the use cases of appointment booking, automated appointment booking, type like a receptionist, for example, outbound or inbound, or lead qualification. These are definitely two use cases where you should be thinking right away, okay, this can be automated to 95% with like a human-like touch, let's say.
Gotcha.
Another thing is you have to be thinking about is like the amount of minutes that you want to be using. So let's say if it's just like 200 or 300 minutes, that can be done, but probably not as good of a use case as if you're thinking like, okay, 6 to 10,000 minutes a month. Yeah.
I've got a question there then. One, so it sounds like one of the triggers is, hey, speed to lead is really important to my industry or my business. That's when you should be thinking voice AI because it's like every sales org I've worked in, I think the quickest lead response time I've ever had at a SaaS company is we had a 10-minute rule, which 10 minutes still a long time from the time you submit a form to the time you get a call. So it's like if they have that use case, it's a home run of like you could have speed to lead of 1 minute consistently.
Yeah,
So
1 second. 1 second.
so yeah, it sounds like that's one use case where it's like, heck yeah, I should be thinking voice AI. Uh the other question I have here, you're saying like use cases that have more minutes are going to be more compelling and have more ROI for clients. How can an agency qualify up front of like how good of an opportunity this would be, or like how many minutes they might need?
I mean, obviously the more the merrier, because you don't want to be doing like the work that you do to set up an assistant for your customer, let's say, it's going to be the same for you if it's like 200 minutes or 200,000, you know. So if you're going to be doing that work, if you're going to be learning a tool or working with us to do the implementation for your customer, then yeah, if you're looking at like 6,000 minutes plus, that would be a good you can be quite sure that you'll see a very significant return on investment because we're going to be helping you build it out that it's like nearly perfect and it's going to be the same amount of work as mentioned already as if you have like just a few hundred minutes.
So when you're seeing these larger use cases, is it based on lead volume, team size, industry? Like if I'm a partner, how can I know, hey, this will most likely be more minutes? Whereas like, hey, this use case is probably gonna be like 100 minutes a month. It's probably not worth anybody's time to try to like go scope and sell them on this.
Um, I'm not sure I get your question.
Yeah, I'll rephrase it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Thanks.
I'm trying to figure out, you're saying that like these larger minutes are what you want to go after. How would a partner know how many minutes that a client would need?
I mean, you can ask them, you could, for example, start breaking it down by, okay, how many people do you have working on the phone, for example? And then you can
Okay.
take like you can start by taking their hourly rate or like how many, because there's two things basically. There's how many calls like they all know how many calls they do per day or per week or per month. And then it's
Okay.
like
So
average
calls
call,
is the primary one. And
yes. And
then,
then average call duration.
okay. So
Yeah.
essentially, if I'm an agency trying to qualify somebody, if they're fit for voice AI, I want to figure out how many people do they have in the org, how many
Yes.
calls do those people make, and then what's the average talk time. And then from there, I'll have at least a rough estimate of, okay, you're going to be in this rough bucket of X to Y hours. Is that correct?
Exactly. And then you can go even a step further and think, okay, how much, how much are those people being paid per hour? Or like what's for example, like what's the average call resolution time? Because we usually bring that down by like 50, 60% for our customers. Like things about like efficiency, things like that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks so much for walking me through this, Nick. I always love learning about different ways agencies can get an edge in the market. So everybody, if you want to know more information and want to kind of get your toes in the AI water with voice calling, definitely reach out to Nick and team. They can schedule a call with you and see if they can help you out there. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks a lot, Blake.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in to Better Together. Hope you found some new ways to become better together with HubSpot app partners. Catch you on the next one.